Evening, everybody. Time is now 6 p.m. I'll call the April 28th, 2026 regular meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, number 3 on our agenda, we'll ask for public comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning applications. Is there anybody that wishes to comment on any of the listed agenda items? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to number 4, approval of the minutes from our April 14th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the
I'll make a motion
minutes?
to approve the minutes. And seconded.
Okay, I'll call for a vote on that. Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Number 5 is approval of the bills. Any questions or comments on the bills? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the batch of bills?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I will second.
Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Number 6 is new or amended ordinance under review. Attorney Shaw.
Yes, we continue to look towards finalizing the subdivision and land development ordinance. In addition, we have been working with Public Works, Planning and Development, and Engineering to update the township code provisions relating to the management of its rights-of-way. A proposed ordinance would clearly define what is viewed as an obstruction in the right-of-way and how those are to be managed within the township rights-of-way. It would cover permit requirements, insurance requirements, and fees. It also addresses private roads, which have occasionally come up due to poor maintenance of such roads, which provide challenges to emergency vehicles trying to travel over them. So those are currently being under review, and that's where we're at with those.
Number 7 on our agenda is Resolution 2026 R10. Attorney Shaw.
Before you is a resolution to approve the disposal of certain municipal records maintained by the police department that are reaching the end of their retention period under the Municipal Records Manual. The police department records to be disposed of include MVR BWC footage that includes test recordings through 3/12 of 26, traffic stops through 2/10 of 26, incident only in special circumstances through 5/11 of 24, and case report, arrest report, SRR unknown type through 5/11 of 2004. My recommendation would be to approve the disposal of these records.
Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2026 R10 as proposed?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And seconded.
Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
I vote yes. 8 on our agenda is the Emergency Operations Plan promulgation. Shallon Anderson.
So under Pennsylvania Title 35, each political subdivision is required to appoint a local management coordinator, maintain an established emergency operations center, and develop an emergency operations plan. Prior to this meeting, the emergency operations plan was provided to you for review. The plan must address the following: the prevention and minimization of injury and damage, response to disasters, emergency relief and recovery, and align with the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Plan. In addition, the plan must be prepared and maintained and kept current. The EOP is required to be reviewed and updated biannually every 2 years or whenever a majority of the government board has changed. I've reviewed the plan and made updates to areas such as roles and responsibilities, the 5 mission areas of emergency management, and statistical information. It was then sent to the county EMA for their review and feedback, and it has been reviewed by our township solicitor. Once the plan has been reviewed, it must be promulgating, meaning to be officially put into place by the municipality before a final copy is provided to Erie County EMA. With that, we have heard some concerns that the plan is intended to hide something or that it's being used by the board to push forward in any initiatives for the fire department. My hope with the explanation of the purpose of the plan makes it clear that the plan is strictly related to our requirements for emergency management and is not connected to any project or proposal involving the fire department.
Shallon, when was the last time this was done here?
April of 2024.
And prior to that was
Was
probably...
when we adopted the new plan I wrote in April of 2022.
Okay. So this is something we do, as you said, every 2 years, and it's a standard.
Correct. The next promulgation will
Document.
have to be in 2028 in a major overhaul because of our change of government, so I'll have to redo the whole thing,
Okay.
or the
Thank you.
majority of it.
And is this a requirement from the?
From the state.
From the state?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions for Shallon?
No.
I did have a quick question, just, I know the copy that we got, it had a couple of like little questions on the side and things. Did anything end up getting changed from those?
No,
Okay.
no, they were minor things that we felt better addressed when we do the major overhaul to it.
Okay.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the emergency operations plan as presented?
I will go ahead and make the motion.
And seconded.
Okay, I'll call for a vote. Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
I vote yes. 9, public hearing on subdivision and land development plans. Director Walding.
Thank you. Good evening. The first plan before you is a subdivision plan for James and Pamela Kwitowski. It is a minor subdivision plan to show the creation of a 7,588 square foot parcel A, resulting in a residual lot of 7,568 square feet located at 910 Hart Road along the west line of Hart Road, north of West 10th Street in Tract 279. And at their regular meeting of Tuesday, April 7th, 2026, Mill Creek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this subdivision plan.
Thank you. We have someone who wishes to speak on this, sir.
Mike Sanford, 4721 Atlantic Avenue. I'm the surveyor that prepared the plan. It's a very simple one-lot subdivision. They own one tax parcel. They'd like to subdivide it and make 2. And no variances or modifications.
Okay. Any further questions for Mr. Sanford?
No questions.
Okay. Thank you. I'll open up the hearing for this. Does anyone wish to speak on this subdivision plan? Okay, hearing none, we will close the hearing and see if there is a motion to approve this subdivision plan.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I'll call for a vote. Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
I also vote yes.
Thank you.
Land development plan for Coca-Cola. Director Waldinger.
Thank you. This is a land development plan to show the addition of a 0.9 acre new impervious surface at 2209 West 50th Street, with an additional 8 parking spaces being proposed and stormwater management facilities included as well, located along the south line of West 50th Street, east of Pacific Avenue in Tract 348. And at their regular meeting of Tuesday, April 7th, 2026, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this land development plan.
Okay. Sir, go ahead.
Thank you. Mike Sanford. This land development plan, as you described, is for 0.9 acres of new impervious area. The lion's share of that is some extra truck and maneuvering parking on the west side of the Coke building. There's no building addition proposed here. They just need some more maneuvering area for their vehicles. On the east side, a couple of small additions, and on the west side, more larger addition for trucks. We have designed a stormwater management plan for the project as well. The only item that Coke was requesting, if the township would grant it, is a sidewalk deferral along their frontage of 50th Street.
If I may, though, that deferral's not in front of you today.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You said 50th Street? West 50th?
West 50th.
50th,
correct.
okay.
But I
got it.
guess we'll come back to that
Okay.
another day.
Sounds good. Okay, thank you. I'll open the hearing up. Anyone wish to speak on this land development plan for Coca-Cola? Yes, sir. Come up to the podium and state your name, please.
Hi, my name is Brian Lasseter. I'm the plant manager for 2209 West 50th Street. I really want to call out here that this is really around safety. Number one, I have no more room for my tractor trailer, so the parking lot has become very dangerous. And then the second phase where we're going to enhance safety is for the bringing in what I call a roof rake so that we can clean off the top of our trailers in the wintertime so they're not blowing snow off, which is going to be in compliance with Pennsylvania state law. We just do not have any room to put this kind of equipment in at this time to be able to clean off our trucks properly. So that's the main focus behind this.
Okay, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Information, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak on this? Okay, if not, we'll close the hearing now and ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And seconded.
Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
I vote yes. And we have one more. Director Waldinger?
Yes, thank you. This last one is an amended land development plan for Dr. Howard Levin. It's a land development plan to show the addition of a 0.876 acre new impervious surface at 2640 Zook Road for an additional 18 parking spaces with stormwater management facilities located along the west line of Zook Road, south of West 26th Street in Tract 2-4. And at their regular meeting of Tuesday, April 7th, 2026, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this subdivision. I would also like to point out, for the benefit of the board, this is what is known as a substantial amendment because it is large, and that's the reason that it had to go through the entire process with the Planning Commission. And then to you, you'll see a non-substantial amendment next on the agenda. So I just wanted to draw that distinction.
Okay, thank you. Sir?
Hello again.
Hello.
This is actually for Dr. Imbrogno, Vincent Brogno. It's referred to as Dr. Levin because he was the owner at the time it was originally proposed, but he sold it to Dr. Imbrogno. So for purposes of the meeting, it's known as Dr. Levin's land development, but essentially it's Dr. Imbrogno's. And he just needs more parking. So he approached McDonald's. They're willing to sell a little property. He's willing to buy it. And so he'd like to get a little extra parking. We have designed a stormwater plan that was approved by GPI, reviewed by GPI. They're close to approving. And just here today looking for approval. We're not aware of any variances or modifications.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions or comments for Mr. Sanford? Okay, I'll open the hearing. Does anyone wish to comment on this amended land development plan for Dr. Levin on Zook Road? Okay, hearing no comments, I'll close the hearing and ask for a motion on this.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I will second.
Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Number 10 on our agenda is a non-substantial amendment to an approved land development plan. Director Waldinger.
Thank you. Yes, as I mentioned, this is a non-substantial amendment. The developer, owner of the property, is proposing to add a deck with the dimensions of 8 feet by 10 feet, so a new addition of 800 square feet to the east side of the building located at 2340 West Grandview Boulevard. The original land development plan for the building was approved at on August 1st, 2005. As it meets the qualifications for a non-substantial amendment, it can come directly to the Board of Supervisors for review and approval. You should have in front of you a certificate from Township Engineer Rob Rodemoyer indicating that this does meet the township's requirements for a non-substantial amendment. And so at this time, I would recommend approval.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And seconded.
Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
I vote yes. Number 11, Stormwater Management Plan and Maintenance Agreement for Mirror Village LLC. Director Waldinger.
Thank you. Yes, Mirror Village LLC is the developer for the Waldemere new picnic shelters. They are partnering with Waldemere Park Incorporated. They have submitted a stormwater management plan that has been reviewed by Greenman Peterson Incorporated, who is the township's contracted third-party stormwater review agency. It has been reviewed by GPI for consistency and meets the substantive requirements of the Stormwater Management Ordinance. In addition, Mirror Village and Waldemere have submitted a stormwater maintenance agreement that is on the township-approved forms and meets our requirements as well. So as Both of these items are in good order. I would recommend that the board accept the stormwater management plan and approve the stormwater maintenance agreement.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Any questions or comments on the management plan and maintenance agreement for Waldemere?
No questions.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the stormwater management plan and maintenance agreement with Waldemere Park.
Seconded.
Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
I vote yes. Number 12, interagency data sharing agreement with Erie County. Chief Mook?
Thank you, Chairman. The Erie County Department of Health regularly conducts reviews of child death cases in the county. The findings are reviewed in great detail to identify any way the various medical, legal, and policing professions can improve in addressing this area of concern. A data sharing agreement has been requested to be signed by the township by District Attorney Hers to accommodate the work of the Child Death Review Committee.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments on the data sharing agreement?
No. I'll make a motion to approve the agreement.
And seconded.
Okay, Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Number 13, bids and quotations, Mill Fair Road Guide Rail Replacement. Director Puda?
Thank you. The Streets Department is requesting to remove and replace the guide rail on Millfair Road as this road is being paved this year. The existing guardrail is damaged in many places and the elevation of the guardrail is out of compliance once the new pavement is installed. The Streets Department reached out to several contractors for estimates and only one quote received was from Penline for the price of $43,270. Funding for this guide rail will come from the Millfair Road project line item of the streets capital budget. I recommend awarding the bid to Penline for $43,270.
Is there a motion to approve the guide rail replacement?
I'll make a motion to approve the guide rail.
Seconded.
Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
I vote yes. Streetlight assessment billing forms. Melanie?
Yes, Anita Anello, with our streetlight billing clerk, is requesting permission to order streetlight assessment bills from Proforma. The cost for 11,000 forms, that will be 9,000 green and 2,000 red, will be $240 per 1,000 for a total cost of $2,640.
Okay.
Can you explain exactly what this is?
So every year on an annual basis, residents with streetlights in their neighborhoods will receive a streetlight assessment. And it is based on the cost of what we have been billed from Penelec for the different streetlights. And then there is a formula created with square footage, frontage, and that type of thing. And so therefore, 9,000 green forms are the original forms that are sent out, usually by the end of May, and then the red forms would be any past dues.
Okay. And then this pro forma company just handles that for us?
We just get the forms from them, and then we print it right out of our admins, our financial software, and then mail them out.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the billing forms?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And seconded.
Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
I vote yes. COG General Material Bid Results and Awards. Director Puda?
Thank you. In front of you is a list of quantities and pricing for this year's COG materials that the Streets Department plans to use. This is an estimated quantity that may vary depending on the work being done this year. The catch basins with frame and bike grates and the risers would be purchased from the sole bidder, Waterford Precast. Chemung Supply Corp. And Green Distributors had the same low bids for the HDPE drainage pipe. Therefore, we will purchase the pipe from Green Distributors, who is a local supplier. Funding for these purchases will be taken from the maintenance and repairs line item of the street's operating budget. It is my recommendation to approve the attached quantities and prices.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the COG materials?
If I could, sorry, Chairman, the
Go
total
ahead.
price given is $11,642, just so you have that on the
Okay,
record.
thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I will second.
Call for a vote. Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
I vote yes. We have the mowing RFP results and award. Director Waldinger.
Thank you. Planning and Development released a request for proposals for as-needed mowing and snow removal to abate nuisance properties that do not respond to notices of violation. We received 2 proposals. The first was from Empire Snow Management, who proposed a price of $75 per hour for all services, $15 per bag of salt, and $95 per hour for tractor usage. Weckner Landscaping Service proposed a price of $60 for all services except for snow removal, which is at $75 an hour, salt at $12 a bag, and tractor usage at $120 an hour. This agreement has a total not to exceed amount of $6,000 and is used to abate these nuisances where people don't respond to notices of violation. If the bills for these services are not paid, the properties that they were conducted at are then liened for the amounts plus costs and fees to regain those funds. Since the majority of the usage of this agreement has historically been for mowing services, I recommend that we award the 2026 as-needed mowing and snow removal services to Scott Weckner Landscaping for the prices listed on their proposal sheet. I further recommend that the award be contingent on them entering into a professional services agreement with the township that has been reviewed and approved by the solicitor.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And seconded.
Okay, I'll call for a vote. Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
I vote yes. Number 14 on our agenda, communications. General communications. We'll start with any update on the Government Transition Committee. Director Waldinger.
Yes, thank you. Press conference was held today on the timeline for the Transition Advisory Committee. There was also a story done in the Erie Times today if people have had a chance to look at it. We've been working to update some of the information that is on the website. If you go there and look for 2028 government transition, you will find some new information, including a timeline and the presentation from today's press conference. The board has planned to hold a special meeting this Friday, May 1st at noon, in order to review and consider nominees for the Transition Advisory Committee.
Okay, that meeting will be held here at noon.
Correct.
Special meeting. Okay, thank you very much. We don't have anything from the CRS department, so we'll move on to flock safety. Chief Mook.
Thank you, Chairman. 2 representatives from Flock Safety, Michael Lucas and Carrie McCormick, requested an opportunity to speak at tonight's meetings about concerns some members of the public have raised regarding the police department's access to the Flock Safety license plate readers recently installed by the Kafara Corporation at the Mill Creek Mall.
Thank you. Before the flock safety representative begins the presentation and question and answer session, here are a few key points to keep in mind. The flock cameras at the mall do not belong to the township. The cost associated with the flock cameras at the mall were paid by the mall directly to flock safety. No township funds were used to pay for the costs associated with the cameras. The township does not own any flock cameras in the township. The township's access to the flock cameras is limited to police criminal investigation purposes. And this has been conveyed numerous times by the township in more forms than one. So we're just reiterating it again. Hopefully everybody that is watching this meeting will listen to that and absorb it. I believe Supervisor Clear has further comment.
We are going to have a presentation, I believe, by some members of the, from Flock, is that correct, And then afterward will be a question. We're going to open it up to questions for our flock representatives. And we are going to bring up a podium for questions. This is not public comment. This is going to be for questions that you would like it clarified or answered. There is time for public comment at the end, though, of this meeting in citizens to be heard. So there are two different opportunities here, but we really wanted people to be able to ask questions to the representatives for clarification. So that is why we are including that after the presentation. And we do ask that you remain respectful, and we want to make sure that we have open dialogue here that is professional. So, and I think with that, Chief Mook.
Good evening, everyone. Let me get this working. There we go. Great. All right, wonderful. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Kerry McCormack, and I am on the Public Affairs team at Flock. It's wonderful to be here with you today, to the board and to the staff and community. Chief, thank you for having us today and allowing us to attend the meeting. I'm also joined by my colleague, Michael, who oversees this specific area for our company. I oversee a part of the country for Flock, but I'm actually based out of Northeast Ohio, so a quick little drive away from you here. So happy to be here today to talk more about our company and our products as well, and hopefully to answer some questions that you may have heard here in the community too. So happy to be here, and thank you for having me. So just a quick overview of our company. So Flock Safety, we are an American company. We were founded and are still headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. But we've got over 12,000 customers across the country. About 6,000 of those are agencies, law enforcement agencies. And we are in 49 states across the country with the exception of Alaska. And we're proud to partner with agencies of all different sizes. So everything from big cities all the way to communities of 1,000 people and everything in between. So we're proud to work in neighborhoods and cities and communities across the country. And we also work with private companies and businesses as well. And there's kind of a different set of standards of how that works that I'll walk through today. But that's everything from homeowners associations to small mom and pop shops to larger retail stores that are concerned with things like retail theft and otherwise. So today we'll talk a little bit about license plate readers, which is a collaborative policing technology. So we are a tool in the tool belt of law enforcement across the country. So we don't replace police officers, we don't do the job for them. We are a tool for police officers to more efficiently, effectively solve crime and find missing people, as well as providing unbiased, direct evidence to police agencies across the country. So what we all agree on, hopefully, is that everyone deserves to feel safe and to be safe. And that is our mission at Flock, to create thriving, safe communities for everyone across the country. So to speak a little bit about license plate readers and what they are and what they're not, and I'll give just a nutshell overview of what they are. So license plate readers are cameras. They take a point-in-time photo of the back of a vehicle and a license plate. And so the way they work is they take a photo of that license plate, and they're able to capture the back of the vehicle, the plate. They're able to pick out make, model, color of the vehicle, and those types of defining features. What they do not do is they do not take a photo of the people in the car. They don't know who is driving the car. The cameras are not connected to the BMV, so they do not have information about the owner of the vehicle either. And they don't use technology such as facial recognition, so sometimes we get questions in the community. So they take a photo of the back of the vehicle, license plate, and characteristics of the back of the vehicle. And officers use them in kind of two ways around the country. So they are used to find vehicles that are associated with crime, and missing people. So there's two ways that they're used. The first way is a proactive alert, which is on the screen right now, called Precision Policing Real-Time Alert. What that is someone's license plate that is affiliated with a crime or a missing person is already uploaded into the system. So let's say there's an Amber Alert that goes out for a missing child in your community, or someone connected to a felonious assault or a homicide, and the law enforcement officers in your community have that information. So they have the license plate of that vehicle connected to the Amber Alert or the individual connected to a crime. What they do is they would put that license plate into a hot list system so that if the vehicle passes one of the cameras, it's going to alert the police department of, hey, that missing child, the vehicle with a missing child that is connected to, or the vehicle connected to a crime just passed a camera at 5th and Main Street. So what that allows is, instead of, the police department in the morning saying, hey folks, we're looking for a blue Chevy, license plate ABC123, keep an eye out for it. And your police officers throughout the day are looking for that vehicle, we know already stressed with resources, running from one call to another. What the camera does is essentially pinpoints those vehicles that officers are already looking for, and tells the officers in real time where that vehicle is. So the officers can then respond to the area where that vehicle hit happened. And then from that point on, they're gonna approach that traffic stop like they would any other day. So they're going to look for that vehicle. Again, because it was pinpointed, it's a lot more accurate and efficient. And they're going to identify that vehicle with their human eyes to say, yep, that is indeed the blue Chevy ABC123 license plate that we're looking for. And then they would initiate a traffic stop just as they would with or without our cameras. So the cameras really help pinpoint where the vehicles are that are connected to a crime or a missing person. They do not, again, know who's in the vehicle or have BMV information or anything of that nature. The other important component too is, we'll get the question of, so if I drive by a camera and I'm not connected to a crime or missing person, no alert is triggered to your police department. So they are not aware that your vehicle just drove by one of the cameras. The second way that the cameras are used is a 30-day retroactive period. So what that means is that over a 30-day period, and I'll talk more about data in a minute, officers are able to go into the system and to search a plate. So why is it important to have 30-day period where they can do this? Frequently, vehicles that are associated with crime, which the majority of crimes in America are committed in association with a vehicle, officers don't have that information right away. If they do, that's great, and that's really gonna help them with their investigation. But sometimes people won't report a crime for 1, 2, 3, 5 days later, or maybe they get a different lead or new footage from someone's business camera comes out and they say, oh, okay, now we can see the vehicle. It allows a period of time where police officers can go back and search to see if that vehicle has passed any of the cameras. Really importantly, as a part of that process, only sworn officers are able to do that with access, and they all have unique IDs when logging into the system. So they know that Officer Johnson logged into the system, and then all of their activity in the system is permanently logged. So Officer Johnson ran a search looking for the blue Chevy ABC123. Officer Johnson is required, it's not optional, to put in why they're searching and to choose from a pre-created list of crimes that they have to select associated with that search. So there's a lot of accountability built into that system to ensure that whatever the officers are doing in the system is permanently recorded, but that also that record is there. So if a chief or anyone else wants to see what's going on or how the system is being used, whether that's so that they can stay on top of it or know the value that the system is bringing, they're able to pull those audits at any time. So those are available and they can pull them at any time. So this just kind of gives you an overview. And I'm sorry, can you see the screen? Oh, you can't.
No, we can't.
Okay, I'm so sorry. So on the screen right now, my apologies, is just a photo of what the cameras capture. So it's the back of the vehicle, the plate, and elements such as the vehicle make, the body type, the color, and things of that nature.
We have seen that picture before, though, so we're
Okay,
good.
all right.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware you couldn't see it. The next slide is a night vision slide, so it just describes the facts that the cameras do operate in the evening and at night. So we know that whether it's someone who's committed a crime or a missing person, they travel at night, so the cameras do work in the evening. So while the tool is extremely helpful to police departments across the country, again, to really narrow their search and make it more efficient to find people that are associated with crimes, vehicles that are associated with crimes and missing people. And I'll just, a quick tangent, another major category of missing people would be silver alerts. So those are senior citizens, usually with cognitive challenges that will go missing. We're also proud that we can help law enforcement locate those folks as well. So while this tool is extremely important to law enforcement across the country, we know so is privacy. This is a core value of our company and of the communities that we operate in around the country. So I'm going to walk through this slide. I'm sorry, you can't see it. And just overview some of those important pillars that are incorporated into the system. First and foremost, data. So when I say data, it's the photos of the back of the vehicle is what we're referring to, is 100% owned by customers contractually. And that data is never sold. So you might think of a social media site or a third-party site that would collect data and sell it. Flock does not do that. We never have, and we do not sell customer data. Private customers never have access to government data or hot lists. So let's say a restaurant has private cameras. They would never have access to police databases, hot lists, things of that nature. So there's a big firewall there. Only the cameras that are housed and operated by sworn law enforcement can access those law enforcement databases. The data is automatically deleted after 30 days. The only exception here is certain states like Virginia have regulated to 21 days. So unless there is a state law that regulates it otherwise, the photos that are taken are permanently deleted and unrecoverable. So why 30 days? We have found that 30 days is a best practice so that it is a finite period of time. So those photos are not, they don't exist forever, but it's enough time for your police departments to find it useful to be able to go back if they find new information or in a crime. Or let's say someone's home is burglarized while they're on vacation and they don't find out until 2 weeks later. It allows enough time for the photos to be useful for investigations while providing a finite box window of time before that it is hard deleted and unrecoverable. After that 30-day period, no one can recover it. Not Flock, not our customers. It is gone. So we've had agencies sometimes that have reached out and said, a crime happened 32 days ago. Is there anything you can do? And the answer is no. It's wiped from the system. So our license plate readers only take images of publicly available information. So that's going to be your state-issued license plate, the back of the vehicle on public roads. So that is what it takes. Sharing is controlled by the departments that we work with. And so just to give 2 seconds about sharing and why it's important. So law enforcement collaborate with or without our technology. Law enforcement collaborates every single day on missing people, on crimes. We know they don't just stop in your communities. People travel or come into your community as well. And so collaboration amongst law enforcement is nothing new, and it's very helpful to solve cases. Our technology, you can share your camera data, so the photos, with other agencies if you wish. So when you sign up with Flock, there is no sharing on, but you can share with other agencies if you wish. And again, it becomes extremely helpful if you think about if there's a suspect in a crime that has crossed, going to Cleveland or Pittsburgh or wherever, and you have a sharing relationship, Pittsburgh will be able to say, and I don't know that you have a sharing relation with Pittsburgh, I'm just, for argument's sake, Pittsburgh will be able to say, hey, that suspect you're looking for just passed one of our cameras, and it allows for that collaborative work. And we really see this with missing people. So missing people frequently travel across state lines, sometimes across the country. And the cameras have been able to find missing people states and states and states away and bring them home safely. So it's an important component. But again, if you share and with whom is completely up to the department. And again, there is no facial recognition in the cameras. So data security is also extremely important. So I'll just kind of quickly walk through some of this. The data, those photos are encrypted from front to back. And even though it is a public, photo of a license plate on a public road, it is not social security numbers or birth dates or anything of that nature, we still keep it, treat it very seriously from a cybersecurity perspective. We have an entire team of cybersecurity experts and engineers that think about this every single day. And not only do they work on our system every single day to make sure that it is safe and improve it, we also have third-party validators that we work with. So SOC 2, ISO, different types of certifications that stress test our system to ensure that it stays safe. If there is a vulnerability identified, we put it on our website. So you can go onto our website yourself and we will publish, hey, we found a vulnerability or something happened and here's how it was corrected. So we're very transparent about that. We put that out there on our blog when it happens. But importantly, our servers, our customers' data has never been breached. And so that is something that is really important to us. And when we do discover updates that need to be made or vulnerabilities, not only do we move forward with them, we publish them as well. So transparency, also important, and so I'll walk through just a couple of these quickly. As I noted, all activity requires a ID in the system so that you know that Officer Smith is the one in the system. The offense type and user ID, so again, that officer has to go in there and tell you why they're in there. They can't make it up. It has to come from a drop-down menu. All of that is saved, as I said earlier, into that log, into perpetuity. We encourage agencies to frequently pull those logs just to make sure and track how the system is being used. We also just recently launched proactive auditing, which we're really excited about, and it just makes our auditing process much more user-friendly, easy to read, and it also allows for proactive alerts to come to a department. So what does that mean? That means that if Officer Smith is searching 50 plates in one day, it's gonna send an alert to your chief to say, hey, this might be nothing, but it looks a little weird, so you should check this out. So those proactive auditing alerts are now moving forward. You have to opt into those. It's no extra cost, but your organization will opt into those. So just to talk about a couple other things on community safety and values, we want these cameras and the setup to reflect your community values. As you can imagine, those differ across the country on what each community looks like. But we've put in certain steps to ensure that those community values are honored. Federal limitations, there is no federal access to our nationwide and our state lookup. I can dive a little bit more into sharing later if you'd like and kind of how that works. But that's really important that those federal agencies, even if you're opted into a statewide search or a national search, there are no federal agencies in those searches. We talked about the audit logs, and there's also search filters that can be activated around immigration and reproductive care. And what that does is that even if you're sharing with someone else, if you activate those filters, it blocks anyone in your system or anyone you're sharing with for searching on those reasons. And so those are available to be turned on. I have a video, but I'll probably skip it for time. But it's one of our engineers, Ashley, kind of talking through the process. Oh, there we go. So just to walk through a couple other things, myth versus fact. LPRs track people and show police everywhere they go. We talked about that earlier, how it's a point-in-time photo for folks connected, vehicles connected to a crime or missing person. and it's deleted after 30 days. And so it's very limited on its data capacity there. A myth that LPRs violate the Fourth Amendment. Court after court after court, district courts across the country have affirmed that not just our company, but license plate readers in general, which have been around since about the late 90s, do not violate the Fourth Amendment. So this has been affirmed from courts across the country. We hear sometimes that, does Flock sell data? We already talked about that. We do not sell data. We talked about the private customers' access, that they do not have access to any of those government, public safety or law enforcement databases. Our cameras do not use facial recognition and do not collect private information. So I kind of already walked through these. And we'll talk more about some of our partnerships later. We know that communities across the country talk about the impact that these cameras have made in, again, reducing crime in their community and finding missing people. We're proud to partner with those folks. So we don't collect crime data. That's in the hands of local communities across the country, but we hear over and over again from those partners about how it impacts their communities. So just to talk about real life impacts here. So in Pennsylvania, over 20 law enforcement agencies utilize Flock. And I'm not going to read these, but I've just got some real life examples that were put out by the media, not us, on how the cameras have been utilized in Pennsylvania. So everything from a homicide, to missing people and beyond. So again, I'll kind of breeze through those specific examples. But I'll just walk through one more thing. This case study out of Georgia, it's a real life story of how the technology has assisted with law enforcement. So there was a child abduction, and this is in 2020. There was a child abduction at 12:33 p.m. after mom called the police. There was an Amber Alert issued. At 1:01 p.m., the police conducted a search on the Flock system for the license plate associated with the individual that abducted the child. 2:30 p.m., the suspect vehicle was located, so that means it would have driven by one of those cameras. Because it was uploaded onto the system as on a hot list, it pinged the camera to notify law enforcement. 5:03 p.m., a felony stop and arrest was made. 6 p.m., the baby was back with their mother. So again, the police did the hard work. The local law enforcement did the tough work. The tool was used to help them quickly identify this vehicle and find it. We're proud of our partners. So we are supported by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and we've been recognized by folks like the historic Oakland NAACP for reducing bias in policing. It's a powerful tool for reducing bias, and they really recognize as communities are demanding both public safety and equitable justice. So we're proud to have their support, as well as a growing number of NAACP chapters across the country. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So will you and your other representative be answering questions?
Happy to hang out as long as you need.
Okay. I didn't know if you were both going to be up there. That's fine. Or tag team it.
He can come up and hang out if you...
Thank you very much. I have one question before we open it up.
Sure.
One of the criticisms I have heard is that the data can be breached, and that a regular user, or maybe someone who is much more sophisticated than me, can gather this information as well, and that it can be accessed.
Yeah.
Could you speak to that for a moment?
Absolutely, and I really appreciate that question, because we do hear that too. Very aware of the YouTubers out there that have gotten their hands on one of our cameras and pulled them apart. To be very clear, they never accessed our data, customer photos, servers, or any databases. So yep, they pulled the camera apart. They were able to essentially access factory settings. That camera was never connected to a community's data anyway, but at no point has our data, so the photos, servers, that type of thing, ever been breached, and there's no evidence of it either. So you'll hear about the gentleman, the YouTuber that took our camera apart. you'll hear about an incident in Georgia where an installer put the live cameras that were all in the public right-of-way. So if you were standing at the park, you could see exactly what the camera could see. That for a very short period of time, a small amount of our live cameras, so not the LPRs like you have in town, were accessible online, because instead of being put on a private, secure LTE network, they were put on a public one. Immediately when that was discovered, Flock fixed that local issue, but in addition to that local issue, we also put in firewalls so that if the installer, which was not one of our employees, it was actually a cell phone provider employee that was connecting it to the internet, if that ever happens again, there's a firewall to prevent any access. A couple things that are important there. Again, there was live access, never any access to the data of that community. And then another thing too on that was that once it was found out, not only did we fix it, but we put a blog out on it. And that kind of gets back to the point of when there are issues, we make sure that they are out there, we notify our customers, and that blog is still up today that you can read, so.
Okay. And just to clarify,
Yes.
it's an LPR? Those are
Correct.
the two that the mall, or I think it's two, I don't know. Those are the two cameras that the Mill Creek Mall purchased.
That's-
The
yeah, so-
LPR, which is different than the one that was,
That's correct.
Okay,
So
okay, just so
the
that I understand,
Georgia
too.
issue, that
Okay.
was a live camera.
okay, which is different.
Different
than
from an
this.
LPR.
Okay.
LPRs take just a photo of the back of the vehicle, so they
Okay.
don't, that's right, it's a photo.
Okay, thank you
Of
for
course.
answering my
Thank you for the
question.
question.
We want to open this up to our residents. We want to hear your questions. If you're not comfortable coming up, we also would be willing to take cards with questions on them. And we were talking about maybe doing something on our website, question and answer. Not everyone's comfortable coming up and speaking, or at least asking questions. But this would be an opportunity to get your questions answered.
Hello. When you say Flock doesn't sell customer data, who are the customers? The owners of the Mill Creek Mall? Because I would think I would be public, being somebody that comes to the mall. So what does that entail?
Yeah, really great question. So a customer would be the individual that the company has a contract with. So the data would be the photos, or if it's a live video, which again, y'all don't have here in town, but if it's a live video, that would also be considered data. Any of that data or any of that photos, they are never sold. So the customer could be a police department, it could be an agency across the country, it could be a county sheriff, something of that nature. That is the customer, and the data would be the photos or videos, and those are never sold.
The photos of anybody in their parking lot?
Of the license, exactly right. So the photo would be of a back of a vehicle, and of the plate of the vehicle, and that's called the data or photos. Those are what we refer to that is never sold. So it's essentially whatever the camera captures is that data.
Okay, you said they're never sold, but can the Mill Creek Mall, in this case, just give them to whoever they want to? What's the rules and regulations in regard to how the actual purchaser has control or no control? How long can they distribute it to whoever they want to?
Really important question as well, so thank you for that. So it's my understanding that the PD is the administrator of the account, is that correct? Or? Yes. Yeah, so the sharing would only be between law enforcement to law enforcement, and that would have to be agreed on by the local police department, but that's never sold. So we,
What guarantee do we have that Mill Creek Mall, whatever people are accessing it, who do have access, don't give it out? I mean, yeah, the police have a certain level of access. So what kind of controls do you have there?
yeah, so it's my understanding that the mall does not have any access to the cameras. It's just for law enforcement purposes. So they do not have access, is my understanding.
And like how many cameras are at like Mill Creek Mall or?
2?
So they're basically on the access or egress side of entering the mall? I mean, there's a lot of different entrances.
Thank you for the question. I'm Michael, by the way. I'm a account executive here with Flock. I oversee the state of Pennsylvania and the state of Maryland. No, that's a great description. So the point is to capture the plate as it is going into the mall, and the folks that have access are the local police department. So outside of the local police department, that's it. So whenever you say they could, it's only the local PD accessing those cameras as well as those photos. And the only places that they're located are, to your point, entrances and exits, so that they have that vehicle data. It doesn't bode well with license plate recognition to have it in an area that's like a congested parking lot, because it's kind of counterproductive to what it's trying to accomplish.
Well, since the mall has more than two, access, so there's different ways of accessing that your car would not be read.
So the point of setting up the program was to cover the main entrances, and without throwing an exact number on it, each of the entrances to the mall, the intent was to capture the vehicles at the main entrances, yes.
Next question. In regard to where this information is stored, my understanding it's stored in a national database. Yeah. Is that accurate?
So the information is stored on the AWS GovCloud server. So it's stored in the cloud. Each community has a walled off section of the cloud in which that data exists for 30 days. If that community chooses to share with other law enforcement agencies, they're able to do so, but it's stored in cloud servers exclusively in the United States.
Okay. In these cloud servers, you say that the license plate picture is stored.
Yes, sir.
What's to stop that information from going into a database that's not part of a picture?
Yeah, really important question. So what we kind of walked through a little bit before, sir, is all those cybersecurity measures to ensure that the system is safe. And so not only do we have an entire division of cybersecurity experts and engineers, but we also stress test our system on a regular basis to ensure that it is safe. So one of the things I'll tell people, if anybody ever from a technology company stands up here and says, our system, it's impossible to hack our system, they're lying to you. Systems are hackable. However, that is why you put in a lot of different security protocols and have people that are a lot smarter than I am working on the system to ensure that it is not disrupted.
And as we all know, we've had hundreds of data breaches from banks, supposedly very secure, and yet they're breached. But one of my concerns is you do not find out about that breach until 3, 4, 5 months, sometimes a year or two later. So what kind of guarantees do you have that, that these, not only are they encountered and covered, but that something is actually done about it?
Yeah.
And how soon are people going to be notified? It's basically because of these banks and everything that we distrust computer systems, because as you just said, they're all hackable.
Yep.
Even with, the best security, there's going to be some genius who's probably 15 or 16 years old who's going to find a way to do something.
Yeah, understood completely. I've actually been a victim of my bank account being hacked, or my online portal, I guess, being hacked, so I understand completely. So, really what it comes down to, again, all of those efforts are put on the front end to ensure that that does not happen. If there is ever a vulnerability, we alert our customers first. That's the very first person we alert. And then we would notify through our website. We put out there's a reporting portal that you do. It's kind of beyond me, a little tacky, but we put it out on our website as well to alert the public, anyone accessible to that website. So it's a public website that anyone can read.
Okay,
But we would
thank you
first
very much.
notify our customers first. They're our priority. Thank you, sir.
Correct me if I'm wrong, did you say that the customer owns the data,
Yes.
but the mall has no access to the data? Are
That-
they the customer?
That's my understanding, that the mall does not.
Who owns that data?
The police department. So whoever is, Michael, do you know who the contract? Yeah.
So,
But the police department is not the customer.
so I don't know if it would be helpful, but you stated so eloquently in that opening statement regarding who owns what, but ultimately, the mall funded the cameras, and the only folks that have access are the police department. And the reason being is because nobody at the mall is CJIS certified, nor am I. I'm sorry, CJIS. So essentially, there's a number of, certifications that you take when you become a sworn officer, right? I'm not a sworn officer, so I don't have access to see anything that Chief and his team can see. And so what I'm saying is nobody at the mall is a sworn officer either. So inherently, it doesn't necessarily do the mall any good to have cameras if law enforcement doesn't have visibility. So in this case, much like other cases around the country, it makes a ton of sense for the mall to fund a solution that the police department can use and leverage their access to help solve crimes that may be occurring at the mall.
Okay, I played audio from a meeting in November because Mr. Bach had said we paid nothing for these cameras. And in November, it said there was a $3,500 reimbursement fee. I don't know if that was per camera. There were supposed to be 5 cameras. So we don't know who to believe. And I mentioned this at that meeting. Do we believe the video? Do we believe what you say now? And I know you're not involved in that. I have 2 other questions. I think it's Denver, Colorado, and Flagstaff, Arizona. They canceled their flock. How many of the townships and cities that you have been in have canceled their contracts?
Yep, so I can give you data from last year. So in 2025, we had around 25 communities that chose not to renew their contracts. That was either for budget or other reasons. In that same calendar year, though, we had 925 that either renewed with us or signed up for the first time. So the vast majority of our customers chose either to renew or signed up for the first time.
Okay, and the other thing was, you mentioned Amber Alert, which was founded by Laura Silsby. Are you familiar with Laura Silsby?
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Sex trafficking of children from Haiti. She founded that, and then she changed her name. But so you might want to watch about who you're associated with. That's all I have.
Thank you.
When you had mentioned that the Mill Creek Mall does not have access to the cameras, how would they have gotten there? Is it like a person that owns the land? Had Flock come and install the cameras?
Yeah, I don't have the background.
And I'm asking also, if they don't have access to the cameras, are they leasing the cameras So somebody else is paying them to use the space that the cameras would be using?
Sure. To answer the first portion regarding the property, so oftentimes Flock will contract with a city police department, and there may be a vulnerable area that there's just not really a good intersection, but there is a piece of land that would bode very well for solar and to capture the information that they're trying to capture. But let's say that that's on private property. We have private property permits that the landowner would sign allowing Flock to install the cameras on their land, though they don't own the camera or have any association with it. And this is the case to where the mall granted us, Flock, permission to install our cameras on their property for cameras that they paid for the police to access.
Okay, so they donated their cameras for you?
Essentially,
Is that-
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
That was
a
my-
really,
Okay.
So I'm a little unclear on what you just said. So Cafaro Mill Creek Mall contracted you to put the cameras in to benefit the Mill Creek Police?
correct.
Okay, so who is paying for them? Cafaro?
Cafaro paid for the cameras, yes.
But who's paying for the service is what I'm asking.
It's it's a subscription, an annual subscription, and Cafaro paid the subscription for the year.
Okay. My other question is, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name.
Sorry, I'm Carrie and this is Michael.
Okay, Carrie. You said that the cameras are not used to track people, but there are stories of ICE getting information from the cameras, and there's other stories of like police officers using them to track ex-girlfriends. There's also at least one person in Texas who was tracked out of sight of the state for reproductive care through flock cameras. So can you address those, please?
Absolutely, and thank you for that. And just to be clear about it, Flock has no contracts with DHS or ICE.
No, but your information
So,
is being used.
And they don't have, that means they have no accounts with us, so there's no way to directly share information with those agencies on our platform. Now, could a department somewhere download a photo and, give it to a federal agency? Yes, that's possible. That is possible. So to touch on a couple of the other perspectives, so we are aware that in a few and far between, there has been police misconduct with our system. That is not unique to Flock. Unfortunately, while the vast majority of police officers put a badge on every day and serve their community lawfully and morally, unfortunately, very few officers, whether it's our system or other systems, don't do the right thing. And in that case, that is exactly why we have our permanent audit trail. That's exactly why we developed our proactive auditing tool to bring that to the attention, if it ever happens, to the chief or the administrator, usually the chief. And in those cases, the reason the public knows about them is because the system found them and they were either fired, disciplined, or prosecuted. So again, we've got 6,000 partner agencies across the country that utilize our system legally and morally every day. Few and far between, there are cases in which that did not happen, and we fully support those agencies to take full corrective actions, just as if an officer would use another piece of technology or data improperly.
Okay, and my last question is, the ACLU has taken you, Flock, to court several times for violations.
So generally, the lawsuits that have happened are against our agencies, our communities, and those are going through court. I can't speak to those, but I will say from a policy perspective, like in Virginia, we actually testified in Connecticut with the ACLU. We are not opposed to regulation at all. We want it to be a law that allows our partner agencies to use the tool. But as in last month, our Director of Government Relations was testifying in favor of a bill in Connecticut. So We don't inherently oppose legislation if it is a bill that is fair to our agencies, our officers that utilize the system. Sometimes it actually can give some rules of the road that are helpful. And so in several cases, and we have been on the other side of the ACLU on certain issues for sure. But when there is common ground and when there's common sense rules that can be put in place, we don't just on paper support them, we've actually showed up and testified in support of those.
Okay, because the one statement I found by the ACLU says Flock's as aggressive expansions goes far beyond simple surveillance. So I know you work for the company, but they have some problems.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Help me understand. I think I understood that you said the PD can share information only with PDs. And yet you said the information is not shared with with ICE or with Border Patrol. How does that, it seems like that's the same thing. How does that?
Yeah, really important differentiation there. So in law enforcement agencies, so it could be state police, it could be metro parks if they have an account with us. You're only able to share, like within our system, with folks that have accounts in the system. And with that, you have to agree to that sharing relationship. So let's say Pittsburgh called you and said, hey, we want to have a sharing relationship with you. If you say no, then that's it. So you have to opt into a sharing relationship. And again, it's only possible to share with agencies that have accounts in our system. Hope that makes sense.
That does make sense, except when you explain how there's a missing person and that person can be identified across like 5 different states and all these. It seems like if you have a lot of accounts in the system, then there's a lot of sharing in the system.
Yep, so that would be, for example, a really great question. That's an Amber Alert, so that's a national database that agencies can opt in to receive those alerts, for example. So anyone who can see Amber Alerts across the country with our system or without, meaning they can use more manual mechanisms, can access those databases.
So if there's an Amber Alert and Mill Creek police identify a license plate number, then police departments in Kentucky would manually enter that license plate number to see if it's in their area.
For an Amber Alert, if it's on like the National Registry of Missing People, that if they opt into access to that list, they're going to get that automatically. So they're going to say, hey, a missing child passed your camera.
How does a police department tying into an Amber Alert system connect them to the flock cameras at Mill Creek Mall?
So if a missing child were to enter the mall and pass one of the, it would be the vehicle associated with the missing child is what it is. And that vehicle were to pass that camera, it would alert the police department that someone on the Amber Alert list has passed that camera.
So there's a national network in Flock that would enter that license plate number into the Flock systems that everybody has.
Yeah, it's the National Crime Information Center, the NCIC.
Okay. And what protections are put in place so that ICE cannot access this?
So, and I'm just speaking to Flock cameras in our database. So ICE's engagement with the other federal agencies outside of our system, we have no control over. I just want to be clear about that. Within our system, you have to have an account to be able to even attempt to engage in a sharing relationship. The Department of Homeland Security and all of its subsidiaries, including ICE, do not have contracts or accounts with us. So let's say even if Town X wanted to enter into a direct sharing relationship with the Department of Homeland Security, they don't have accounts in our system to do that.
Okay. And then you mentioned that customers could add a filter so that immigration or reproductive rights
Yes.
information is not shared? How does that work?
Yep, so.
And how would a community know if a customer has made, would a community know if a customer has made that choice?
So I'll take the first question, or I guess the first question. So the way it works is you are required to put in a search reason into when you're searching for a plate, right? And so if anyone put in a search reason, let's say a community X turns those filters on, and someone within their community or someone they share with attempts to search their plates or their data for those two reasons, it would block it. So that's how that system works. You would know, so some communities have a transparency portal that is a public-facing website that will identify those things and you know, what filters are on them and things of that nature. So it just depends on how you engage the community and that type of thing. So, but the administrators of the system will be able to see and activate those filters.
Okay. So in this case, the customer would be, like if we approached the mall to ask that, or in the place that I saw that the Pennsylvania police were one of the people, like if we approached a state level, would they be able to let us know whether that filter was turned on or not?
Yes. I mean, they would know for sure. I don't know what their public records laws and what they share with you, but they would know for sure whether those are activated. That's correct.
Okay.
Just to follow up a little bit on the customer relationship. You said the data is 100% owned by the customer, which it turns out is not really true because the customers is the Cafaros, but they have no access to the data, correct?
Do you know that?
Yeah, I'm sorry, could you?
Sure. Earlier in the presentation, it was stated that the customer has 100% ownership of the data. In this particular instance, the customer who's paying you via contract is the Cafaros, correct?
That's correct.
That's correct.
That's the billing address.
The billing, okay.
Yeah,
Is it
we're
not-
billing Cafaro, but Cafaro's not the
funding the
customer.
Is Cafaro the actual customer regardless of their billing address, or are they the actual customer?
So I think
I guess it would be how you define customer,
Yeah, so-
because the only folks that access the data is the PD.
Right, that's what I'm getting at. So it seems like I'm not sure who's paying for what.
Well, it was.
Still not sure who's paying for what.
It was, I guess, I don't know if it would help to read that again. It was fairly, I thought it was in there, but I could be wrong.
Well, I mean, the fact that I had to ask you the customer and you really were uncertain of the answer gives me a little bit of pause. You understand where I'm coming from?
Well, no, I'm here to support the PD, who is who I work with and who ultimately is who uses the system.
Okay.
The folks that paid the invoice, the folks that procured would be Cafaro. So I would say procurement, Cafaro, ongoing, PD. Customer is, I guess, how would you define, which one are you looking for, you know?
Yeah, it just strikes me as an unusual relationship.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm trying to get more clarity on it, because I feel like, how common is it, let me just ask you that, for a private retail enterprise to pay for and house what you call a police tool that's only accessible by police? Is that common for you guys?
Yeah, we definitely have those accounts throughout the country. The majority of our accounts generally are kind of city to city, meaning that the city goes under the contract. I'd have to look over, the direct answer to your question, direct answer to your question is we'd have to look at the contract. Customer and access to that data would be the administrator, which would be, you know, a police department. So to give you an example, let's say City X, the city council votes to pay for a system. That city council doesn't have access to that data. It's only law enforcement.
Right. Well, you understand what I'm getting at. I'm trying to figure out why this structure exists.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it does happen.
Do you know what I mean? Like why didn't the Township of Mill Creek contract with you directly?
Sure,
It's a real question.
absolutely. We do work with Cafaro at different locations across the country.
Okay.
So from a regional perspective, this was an opportunity to partner as well. Another really good example, I think that may shed some light, is Hershey Park in Hershey, PA, right? So Hershey Corporation funded flock cameras around the park, essentially just the entrances and exits for the same idea, NCIC alerts, Amber alerts, things like that. Nobody at Hershey Park has access to those cameras. The only folks that access is Derry Police Department and Chief Warner and his team. So essentially, Hershey Park paid for the cameras to give access to the PD so that the PD could support the park more efficiently.
You take it a step further, just an extreme example. Could an individual home contract with you for a flock camera and then have only police access that camera?
We have HOAs that do that quite frequently.
Could a homeowner in Mill Creek do that?
I don't know. I would assume so.
Okay.
Yeah, and because
Yeah, and it's just important, and we touched this a little bit. So let's say an HOA, subscribes with Flock, and they provide access to the police department. They don't get any of that, hot list, police database, anything back. Yeah, it would just go. It'd only be for sworn law enforcement.
Right. And my final question, taking too much time, but do you offer non-connect, in other words, a private security camera that's just for a private home that has no connectivity or access via the law enforcement?
Not that I'm aware of. Like closed circuit. Not that I'm aware of.
Good, thank you.
So I have a question backing off of what the gentleman had just said. So basically, Mill Creek has the mall has the contract. And then the police have access to the data. Mill Creek does not. So is Mill Creek deciding who the police department can partner with, or is the police department?
Yeah, and in full fairness, I've not read this contract, but the police department, if they are the administrator, which I believe here they are in full control of the sharing. So whoever the administrator of the account, and they've got to be sworn law enforcement, would be making all of the decisions about any sharing relationships.
Okay, so basically, the actual owners or the subscribers do not have privilege to that. They have no say in it. It would be the police department only.
Yes, right. So same thing like if a city council funds a camera set, they have no control over access or sharing relationships, anything like that. It would be the administrator, which is a sworn police officer, generally the chief or a lieutenant or someone of that nature.
Okay, and then the other question would be, you had stated earlier that there's a yearly subscription.
Mm-hmm.
So should the mall decide to cancel the subscription, then we will be made aware of that? Or if the town decides to pick that up, are we going to be aware of that? Or because the block camera is already installed, are you not necessarily needing to allow the town to vote on that?
To the extent that there would be a fee for continuing it, which I believe there would, to continue the subscription, and the township would be covering that fee, the township would have to have a vote on that, so it would be at a public
So
meeting.
it would have to be public knowledge? Okay.
Now, if the mall decides to, whatever the mall decides, the mall decides.
Right, okay, and then the repairs, if something like you have a windstorm or something, the repairs are covered within the subscription, correct?
Yes, generally yes.
Okay, so again, nothing is going to be held, the town is not going to be,
that's accurate.
okay. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I have two really simple questions. So the DHS, DEA, and all these other federal agencies cannot share right now because they don't have a contract with Flock. But if and when they did, would they have that accessibility? Or do you, as a company, not have a future relationship incoming with the nationals?
Yeah, really good question. So any and all sharing, the customer, so the local agency, has to opt into. So let's say, and I mean, they're not a customer, let's use, I don't know if Pittsburgh is a customer, I keep using them, but let's say Pittsburgh is a new city that signs up, they don't automatically get access. Any new customer would not automatically get access, like in a one-to-one sharing relationship with the community. The other important thing too is, so let's say the department goes into a statewide network or a national network, there's no ability for any federal agencies to be in those. Those are all state and local agencies.
Okay.
So, but you would have to opt, so in theory, if a federal agency, if Flock in the future went into let's just, in theory, the department would have to proactively reach out to them and say, hey, agency, we want to share our data with you.
Okay,
Is
so
how
for
that would have to
example,
work.
if DHS were to become a Flock contractor, Pittsburgh would have to reach out to be able.
That's right. And they could reach out to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh could say yes or no.
But DHS still has the possibility of securing a contract with Flock currently.
I'm not aware of any conversations at all on DHS with the company, so.
Okay. And then earlier you used an acronym for AWS, but I want to be clear.
I'm
You're saying
sorry.
your databases are Amazon.
Amazon Web Services, that's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the Flock representative will take one more question. If there's one more question that someone has, this will be the last question for the Flock representative. Thank you.
I suppose we should thank the Mill Creek Mall for donating the Flock cameras since they don't have access to anything. But my question is, when you put on, somebody's on a hot list, a plate is on a hot list, how is that plate entered into a hot list? It's manually entered by the police department, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what if there's an error in the plate number or a partial plate? Because I'm thinking that if there's a plate that gets flagged on the hot list for whatever crime, major crimes, correct?
Yeah, it could be stolen vehicle, homicide, yep, yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna guess that if Mill Creek shows up, they're gonna be in force. And my concern is, what if there's an error on the plate that's in the hot list? And how is that plate removed once it's encountered?
Yeah, really important question. So this is exactly why, we encourage police departments, as they would without our technology too, to visually confirm that plate. So let's say the police department gets a report, blue Chevy, ABC 123, connected with a crime, and let's say a plate hits, the police officers should be saying, yep, before I put my lights on, that's ABC 123 blue Chevy in front of me. So that's why that human step of confirming the plate.
I agree,
Oh,
but if the plate is in error, ABC 124, now they're still gonna say, oh, there it is, that plate is on the hot list. Although it's the wrong plate. How is that plate then removed?
Yeah.
So that the same person doesn't get mobbed by
Yeah.
a gang of.
Sure. So misreads, again, are very rare. And if they do happen, they can be removed from the hot list, from the system. But again, that's where the police training and police work would come in. So let's say, put our cameras aside. Let's say we get a wrong plate on an issue and it's broadcasted at roll call, and the officers see the wrong plate. It would be the same protocol that they would with or without our cameras.
Okay.
And that's handled differently in any locality.
Okay.
But no, it's a really important question. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys for allowing this to happen. Very informative.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Chief and the PD want to thank you too for inviting us here today for the important conversation. And I'll leave you all with cards. If there's any follow-up questions, just let us know. We can come hang out again or shoot us an email. We're happy to be here, so thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
May I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Would you mind sharing with us via email in a secure database the presentation that you gave? Would
Absolutely.
we be able to share that maybe on our website?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'll get it to Michael, and he'll get it to y'all too. Absolutely.
Okay, and you can shoot that over to Chief Mook. Thank you.
Okay, thanks again. Okay, next on our agenda is treasurer communications.
I have nothing to add.
Okay, thank you. Hiring request, streets maintenance labor. Director Puda.
Thank you. The Streets Department is requesting to hire Caleb Steele as a streets maintenance laborer. His date of hire will be 4/29/2026. His rate of pay will be $24.10 per hour. Caleb previously worked for Pollard Land Services as a laborer driver. Prior to that, he was an operations technician at Harold BX. He has a Class A CDL with no restrictions. He has knowledge of the sanitary, storm, and water lines. I recommend approval to hire Caleb for this position.
Is there a motion to approve the hiring of Caleb?
I will make a motion.
And I will second.
Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
I vote yes. There is a municipal law symposium. Who would handle that?
I believe that's for me. Tomorrow, the Knox Law puts on a half-day municipal law symposium. It is free to attend, and I would like to place the recommendation to allow me to attend that tomorrow.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second that.
Okay, Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Mr. Chairman, I would just
Yes.
like to comment that that's a great conference. The symposium is, there is so much to learn, and I'm sorry that I didn't sign up with you.
Well, it's nice that it's local.
Yes, yeah.
I have
it's a
I have
half day.
attended in the past.
Yeah.
So it's
Good info.
it's very condensed, intense. Okay, next we have the Acato Firemen's Conference Dinner in McCain on April 30th. Supervisor Morris.
I believe that's also an annual appreciation dinner for the firemen, and typically the supervisors and chiefs are invited, and I think I was the only one who could attend this year. That is a cost of $20 per person, so I would make the motion to recommend me to attend.
Okay.
I will second your motion.
Sorry, on April 30th.
Motion and a second. Okay, I'll call for a vote. Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
And I vote yes. I've also attended that in the past.
Me too.
It's a good event.
It is. Good food.
Executive sessions were held on April 16th, 2026, discussing litigation matters related to code enforcement and state court litigation, public safety matters related to the fire department, and real estate matters related to parks and rec facilities. On April 17th, session was held to discuss litigation matters, and on the 24th of this month, litigation matters related to state court litigation, public safety matters related to the fire and police departments, and real estate matters related to parks and rec facilities. Solicitor communications, anything further?
No, nothing further on my end. Thank you.
Student Ambassador Report. Thank you for your patience, sir. You are up.
We expect a report on everything you've learned tonight. Kidding.
It's been very informative.
Yeah, it is.
So
Yeah.
here's what's happening at McDowell. So AP testing will take place from May 4th to May 15th. This is an exciting time as students showcase the knowledge and skills they have developed throughout the school year while preparing for future college and career opportunities. We want to say congratulations to the McDowell Academic Decathlon team. The team earned an impressive 4th place finish in the USAD State Championship Tournament held last weekend in Hershey, PA, and they brought home a total of 28 state medals. In addition, 3 students advanced to nationals last week, with Josh McManus earning a bronze national medal in economics. We are excited to share a new opportunity for our students through Pennsylvania Western University, Penn West, thanks to a dual credit innovation grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Education, Eligible students can now take Penn West college courses completely free of charge. Dual enrollment allows students to earn real college credits while still in high school, giving them a valuable head start on their future education. We are currently planning our Walk for a Cause, which will take place on June 1st. All proceeds from this event will benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the American Cancer Society. Some fun news for juniors and seniors. Prom will be held on June 6th from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Bayfront Convention Center. We are honored to introduce the William Connor Service Award, created to recognize a legacy of extraordinary generosity and commitment to students. This award will be presented to a student who demonstrates outstanding service to the school and community. Established through the Mill Creek Education Foundation, the award will continue to support and inspire students for years to come while honoring Mr. Connor's last contributions to our school community. The school district recently announced plans to renovate Gus Anderson Field on McDowell's campus into the new McDowell Athletic Complex, an upgraded multi-purpose facility designed to better serve our students, athletic teams, and the community. Residents are encouraged to visit the district website for frequently asked questions and additional project information. And finally, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. This is the last meeting I'll be attending as the ambassador. Just want to say thank you so much. It's been really cool to share what's going on at my school and to learn more about local politics. So thank you so much for the opportunity. And I remember Supervisor Clear asking a couple meetings ago what Lucy and I's future plans are. So she's committed to Villanova University, and I'm committed to John Carroll University. So thank you so much.
That is so wonderful.
Congrats.
Congratulations. Those are both great schools. Please send along our congratulations as well.
Definitely.
I know you have a busy month in front of you. So May is always crazy for seniors, I remember. But
Yeah.
enjoy every minute, and yeah, the best is yet to come.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, before we go into the citizens to be heard, I just want to reiterate the 5-minute time limit for citizens to be heard. No, Jerry, it's 5. For you, we could make it 2 or 3. Also, we do want to remind folks that the public comment period is open for residents of Mill Creek Township and taxpayers of Mill Creek Township, as per our ordinance and as per section 710.1 of the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act. So we invite residents or taxpayers who wish to speak for a 5-minute maximum. You may come up. Got the clock.
I'm on it.
Hello, Caleb Bretchten, City of Erie.
Sir, I believe. Did you just hear what I said?
I did. I'm a stakeholder in
You are
this
not a
space.
resident of the township or a taxpayer, are you?
I do buy things from the township, and I do
No,
business in
you
the
have to
town.
be a property owner that pays taxes or a resident of the township.
I know the Sunshine Act that you're talking
That is the regulation. Yes, it is.
That is a First Amendment violation.
I'm telling you what our regulation is. Does anyone else wish to speak? Feel free to address us after the meeting, sir. Sir, you can come up.
Okay, I'm leaving my card. Dave Szymanowski, 823 Oregon Avenue, so I am a Mill Creek homeowner.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for making this presentation available, and also like to thank the police officers for being involved here. First of all, I've been in corrections for over 30 years in 4 different states. I was a deputy warden in medium max, kind of like a Shawshank Redemption. Not only that, the first job was at MSC, which was the Maximum Security Center, that held the 100 worst inmates, not in the prison, but in the whole state that I was working in at the time. So I am very well versed in criminal behavior. But also, I was involved in planning many programs. to change different aspects of the prison system. And me, along with other people, we were sued by inmates and had to go to court and everything, so I'm well-versed in that aspect of it. But now going on to personal life, back when I first started, I was working at St. Vincent's Hospital in mental health, and I had to go down to base service, and you talk to the person, the patient, and then give advice to the physician about whether this person should be admitted or not. Well, we had this one person come in, and he would just waste our time, so I said he could, he didn't need to be admitted. So he pulled a gun out and put it in my back, and the security officer came in, and he put a gun in his back. And you can imagine what I first was thinking and saying, and now I'm going to get shot twice. Well, obviously I didn't. The second thing in regard to personal life, my wife and I, we were robbed quite a few years ago. And the police came, and they treated us very well. They were very professional. And they also gathered a lot of information. And eventually the crime was solved. But it involved good police work, them taking their time to look at the case, and it also involved the more routine cameras that were available way back when. So the police and they worked hard, and I appreciate you solving that case. And I had to go to court for over a year because there were two thieves involved, and of course they got angry at each other, and we had two different court cases. So I spent a year going back and forth to court. And the reason I mention that, even though it's personal, is that, I'm familiar with both sides of the law and also have been a victim a number of times. So, that was no fun. My concern with this, we mentioned AWS, which is Amazon. Now you go about a year and a half ago, all of a sudden, Amazon, if you owned a Kindle, said all those Kindle books that you bought aren't your books. They did that unilaterally without anyone who owned it. So they're not a very trustworthy organization, given that they'll just do things. But my main point is I think you folks up here, we need to come up with some rules and regulations, since this in essence is a public-private matter. We're all concerned about our own. And what I would like to see is some rules and regulations in regard to how this is used. It's not about the fact that you're not paying for it. It's about your role in promulgating rules and regulations. And I think the nature of this actually requires that we have some safeguards that are above and beyond what is being presented here. And I would like to see those cameras shut down until we have some decent rules and regulations. So again, thank you very much. Thank you, officers, for your work that you provided many years ago. And I wish you all success. And I wish that gentleman there good success in life and the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to speak?
Hi, my name is Julie Hurt. I am a Mill Creek resident. I would also like to thank the student ambassador. I've seen him speak. I've been very impressed. Good luck at John Carroll. It's a great school. I would like to address the fact that you're eliminating anyone outside of Mill Creek. I understand that taxpayers take precedence, but the Mill Creek Mall, Lowe's, and Home Depot are huge impacts on Erie County. And I feel like they should have a voice in this. Because you have shut up hundreds of thousands of people by not allowing anybody but people from Mill Creek to speak to this. I appreciate that Flock came and spoke. It's kind of surprising to me they would come to speak to Mill Creek on Mill Creek issues and not have read the Mill Creek contract before they came. I'm not sold on the Flock cameras. The fact that they're all in Mill Creek should be concerning for you because people are not happy with them. And if they stop shopping at those facilities, it'll be a problem for Mill Creek. Sorry, lost my train of thought. My other thought is I feel like it's very magnanimous of Cafaro's and Mill Creek Mall to fund something that, according to Flock, is very important for missing children and adults, but not so much customers and businesses at the mall, because customers don't like it, and I bet you the employees at the mall and Lowe's and Home Depot probably don't like it either. Thank you.
Jane Deutschlander, and I live at 5511 Martin Road, so I am a Mill Creek resident. When I first heard of the Flock cameras, I thought, people are making a big deal about nothing. And then I started researching because I wanted to know. And I want to share something that I have found from the ACLU. Municipalities beware of changes in Flock's legal terms in your using or considering license plate readers. This is written by Jay Stanley, a senior policy analyst, ACLU Speech, Privacy, and Technology Project, April 16th of this year, 2026. The license plate reading company, Flock, has made several significant changes to its contractual terms and conditions that appear to diminish cities' and towns' control over data and otherwise shift power from customers to the company. Current Flock customers, as well as those who are considering using Flock, should be aware of these contractual changes. Look closely at them and seek the advice of counsel before they enter into or renew a contract with the company. Flock's changes, covered by the security research service IPVM and the website haveibeenflocked.com, which are both dogged investigators and critics of the company, are already having an impact on local debates. Flock made at least 4 changes to its standard terms and conditions in the 7 months leading up to its current, as of this writing, April 16th, contract. The changes include sale of data. Flock's previous T&C terms and conditions stated flatly, Flock does not own and shall not sell customer data. That language is now absent from their T&C. Control over data. The new license, while granting formal legal ownership of data to the customer, grants the company the exclusive right to determine and control the method, timing, format, and medium of access to the data that supposedly belongs to the customer. Have I Been Flocked? Reports that Flock appears to be giving customers access not to raw footage, but to altered, degraded, low-resolution copies of that data, which also lack metadata, such as timestamps, which can be important. That would be a funny form of ownership. A perpetual license. The T&C now add a perpetual right for Flock to use customer data to support and improve its services, allowing the company to keep using driver surveillance data even after a town, city, or other customer has terminated its relationship with Flock and no longer has access to that data itself. Flock's right to use such data would have no expiration date. Liability, termination, and arbitration provisions. The new contract also expands Flock's protections against liability for willful misconduct or gross negligence, potentially shifting the costs of data breaches and other failures from the company to taxpayers. It also mandates private arbitration under Georgia law when there is a contract dispute and makes it harder for customers to terminate Flock contracts, including when a town or city council votes not to approve a contract or fails to appropriate the funds for it, as nearly 50 cities have done in the past year alone. Cities and towns that are considering using this driver surveillance technology and those that already are need to be aware of these changes and look at them very closely and consult their own counsel in assessing the impact in order to ensure their constituents' interests are protected. Of course, the best way to represent their interests is not to install a mass surveillance system in the first place. I know the gentleman that was here from Flock was presenting his product, kind of like a salesperson does. But I do think that we need to be careful and look deeply into what Flock is and does before we decide that that's what our community wants. And like the woman before me, I will not be going to the Mill Creek Mall. Frequent shopper there. I'm not going anymore because I do not want to have surveillance done on me or on others. It might have its usages, but it also has a huge opportunity and chance to be used wrongly, especially at the time we're in our country right now. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Patty Davis. I reside at 2438 Norcross Road, Erie, 16510, well, Mill Creek. I want to bring up a point where the gentleman from Flock had said, Flock may not sell data. It doesn't sell the data. It may not directly, but it provides a way for your Fourth Amendment right to be violated. They might not directly sell it, but the man couldn't even tell us who the customer was at the Mill Creek Mall. Was it the Mill Creek Mall owner, or was it the LAPD or the PD people, the Mill Creek Police Department? Data brokerage loophole is a concern right now. Our Fourth Amendment says you are protected from unreasonable search and seizures. So the government cannot just search your things without having some sort of warrant. Now, the data broker loophole is that there's all this information about you out there: social media use, internet search histories, communication patterns, locations you have been to, and much more. If a police officer, CIA agency, or a member of ICE wanted to access that material and information, they would need to attain a warrant for it. But because of the data broker loophole, all this information is being sold between companies all the time. If the government buys the data from a data broker, then all of a sudden they don't need to have a warrant to access it. They just buy it, and they have it available to them for less than the cost of a cup of coffee. Anti-abortion activists use this to try to collect information on who might be seeking abortions and who's trying to help them. ICE is buying this data to use the location data of people who are at protests. They're using AI tools such as facial recognition that they have resulted in wrongly identifying targets. And they are also using our license plates to access personal information. The Homeland Security Task Force website was created by an executive order under Trump on day one without a congressional vote, and it's operating in every state. After the Church Committee investigations in the 1970s, Congress deliberately built a wall between foreign intelligence agencies and domestic law enforcement. So the CIA, the NSA, they operate under almost none of the Fourth Amendment constraints that local police forces do. They have different legal standards entirely. And the whole point of keeping them separate was so that the intelligence gathered couldn't just flow into criminal prosecutions against people in this country. This HSTF website is announcing that this wall is gone. They've built something called the National Intelligence Fusion Cell inside the director of the National Intelligence's office that feeds intelligence data directly into enforcement operations. This is called a parallel construction. So law enforcement gets a tip from an intelligence source, one that would never survive the Fourth Amendment scrutiny in court, and then works backwards to create a paper trail that looks like a normal investigation. Defendants never know. Defense attorneys never know. Judges never know. This already is happening. The DEA Special Operations Division was caught doing it with the NSA data over a decade ago. And now there's an entire government apparatus built to systematize it, and a .gov website that is bragging about it. This is just one element of what makes this whole thing so terrifying. This is a blatant violation of our Fourth Amendment right, and it is not for sale. Thank you.
Candy Horn, I live here in Mill Creek. And maybe, Mr. Bach, you could answer me, where in the Sunshine Law does it say you have to be a resident of the township where the meeting is at? And what does it say? Yeah, I want to save my 5 minutes. So, okay. And maybe I misunderstood. It sounded like Mr. Shaw said if you wanted to cancel the contract, you had to vote on it. Did I misunderstand that?
No, I said if they wanted to renew the contract, you would have to vote on it.
Okay, so what if you want to cancel it?
You would probably have to vote on it as well, I suspect.
Okay, so either way, are the taxpayers paying for it? Because you said Cafaro is funding everything.
I don't know how many times to say this. The township didn't pay the money. I don't know what else to tell you. Melanie has answered your questions, telling you that Cafaro paid the money. Everyone else has said Cafaro has paid the money. I don't know what else to say to you.
Well, and I told you, I held up the audio of the meeting in November.
I don't care what you
Well,
held
I do,
up.
because it sounds like...
At the end of the day, Cafaro paid the money directly to Flock. Township didn't pay it.
But it sounds like that there's some nefarious deals here, because that audio and that video says there was a reimbursement, so something came from the taxpayers. And I will go on from there.
That was the original plan that was presented to us. At the end of the day, that's not what happened. What happened was they made the payment directly.
But that was not told to the people at that time. I want to know, are there any people here who do not live in the township that would like to speak? You have a lot of people interested in this, and I don't know why you don't want to take the information that they have. It's probably because they make you look stupid because you didn't do your research, you know? So I am going to read something, and I had mentioned about, I didn't mention Georgia, but in Dunwoody, Georgia, they were having a hearing about a flock safety contract, and this is a transcript. About a year ago, I started formally researching the security posture of the police surveillance industry. Myself, John Gaines, and Joshua Michael found close to 60 security vulnerabilities within or closely related to flock safety's ecosystem. We were able to connect to and completely take control of the automatic license plate reader cameras. We could view or modify the footage. We could install malware on them. We could view the hard-coded credentials that led to other places. And there is even one that allowed us to track real-time GPS location of police vehicles. You might want to know that for our officers' safety. I published a selfie video literally pulled from one of the newly deployed flock cameras right down the road at Peachtree Creek Greenway, and showcased how easily I was able to access zoomed-in footage of every single person who walked on that trail over the last 30 days without using a password. Some of these findings were reported to Flock directly. Some of them are now published and flagged by MITRE, which is part of Homeland Security, to manage cybersecurity threats. Some of these are still rated today as high or critical vulnerabilities. Members of U.S. Congress have cited my research in a published letter to the FTC calling for a formal investigation of Flock's negligence as a risk to national security. And you want us to have this? So how did Flock respond to this fake news? The CEO himself claimed Flock had never been hacked. He spent his time sending unsolicited emails to law enforcement agencies around the country, telling them their agency was under coordinated attack by activist groups who wanted to defund the police, weaken public safety, and normalize lawlessness. This was Flock's response to a formal report about security vulnerabilities. I watched Flock representatives stand up at City Hall meetings just like this one with people dead in the eyes, and despite evidence verified by MITRE, claim that Flock has never been hacked. I myself, in my own research, have found that to be true. A quote from the Flock representatives, yeah, there are not documented breaches online. There's documented attempts to intrude on a single camera online, and that's like saying, if someone hacks into your iPhone, Apple has been breached. It's
Thank you,
simply a
Candy.
different-
Your 5 minutes is up.
Mine is showing, okay.
No, we kept our clock. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. We want to allow other people an opportunity. There is a 5-minute limit. We did for 5 minutes. Next.
Hello. Are we allowed to talk about things other than the camera? Yes. Hi, okay. I'm
Yes,
Jennifer
you
Wilkins.
certainly are. The citizens be heard. Anything you want to talk about?
Anything?
Anything.
Okay, so we could be here a while.
5 minutes.
But I'm a stay-at-home mom. All right, guys. All right, anyway, I was recently approached. This is my son, Jeremiah Wilkins. We call him the Pickle Boy. If anybody's seen him on Facebook, he goes around to different firehouses.
You were right.
He cans pickles himself, takes them to different firehouses, and gives them to the firemen as his way of saying thank you for your service, okay? We were recently approached and asked, what's your problem with the Ohio guys? Now, I am a jokester, okay, and I said, oh no, it's you, the Ohio guys, because I hear there's a problem with the Ohio guys. It's not the Ohio guys, it's the taxes. So the Ohio guys get the heat. Now, it's the Ohio guys, it's the taxes, it's the no communication, it's the we feel like we're getting pushed out. I'm trying to help here, okay? We need better communication. We need to figure something out on why we feel like our volunteer fire department is getting pushed out. All of them. And it's the volunteer fire departments, it's the community, and it stinks. And it's our taxes that are getting affected. It's the Mill Creek community, and I don't like it, and people don't like it, and it's only gonna get worse, and it's only gonna get louder. And that's where the Ohio guys and the fury is coming from. And he's gonna keep getting the heat, and y'all are gonna keep getting the heat, and it's only gonna get worse until something gets done. And we say, well, no, that it should go down this way, but it's not gonna get better until it gets better. So let's all sit down together and figure out how we can get more volunteers in to help us, because we cannot afford more taxes to pay more men to come in to fight fires, because we need men to come fight fires, because it takes 1 to 2 minutes before our house is gone. And our children are in these houses. And most parents don't teach their children to get out of these houses. And then we have houses like we have firefighters coming into these houses, getting children out of these houses, and these children are gone. And our firefighters are traumatized. We need to start teaching, and we need to get more volunteers, and we need to start working together and stop passing the buck on to everybody else and saying, oh no, I told my chief and this guy down here to tell these guys down here. We need to start all coming together as a unit and start saying, okay, you know what? This volunteer house here, we're not gonna take only Mill Creek tax dollars and only go to the Mill Creek paid fire department. We're gonna actually go to West Ridge. We're gonna spread out Mill Creek's money to all of Mill Creek. It's not just gonna go to one department, it's gonna go to all of Mill Creek, so we're all gonna know. And if it can't go to all of Mill Creek, then they need to know, we need to start earning money, we need to start getting out ways that we can earn money, that we can tell the people that they need to earn money. We need to start doing campaigns and doing things and getting it out to the community and teaching the community how to teach their children to get out or to do what we need to do. We need to start really working as a community together to figure out why there's so much anger and hate towards each other and stupid stuff. Because a 13-year-old boy should not be approached on why we don't like Ohio guys. Because it's not the Ohio guys, it's really stupid stuff. That's stupid. Because we're out there trying to just be supportive to our firefighters that really need more love. And if you see a firefighter on the street, guys, seriously, all y'all, shake their hand, because they go through so much more than you'll ever even fathom, think, and you can't even think of the nightmares. I mean, I can't even think of the nightmares. I just thinking of the thinking of, and I cry about thinking about it. My son is a volunteer, and some of the things that he comes home and he says that he thinks about, and I just pray for them, first of all, thank them, and always be supportive of them. We all just need to work together and stop fighting each other as a community. Every single one of us, stop picking on each other. And that's it. My son wants to say something too. Go ahead.
I would like to say thank you for your time and your service to our community. And I want to end by saying I'm praying for you guys.
Thank you. And nobody
Thank you.
hates anybody. Lower the taxes. Taxes can come down this year.
Anybody else?
Hi, my name is Danielle Deutschlander. I live in Mill Creek. You've met my mom earlier. I wanted to bring it back to the flock cameras. I know you're all excited about that. Now, the two gentlemen here gave a very lovely sales pitch. But there were some things that they said that just didn't make sense from the things that I've read online. They said that you can only look license plates up if you have a reason. Then why was there a police chief in Kansas who used the flock cameras to track his ex-girlfriend 228 times? What reason did he have 228 times to look up his ex-girlfriend? Like, yes, they have to put in a reason, but what's the legality of it? You can just type in anything. I can type in traffic ticket, anything. How does that work? It's like, and then they said, if your police department decides to share with other people, that's their choice, but they don't have to. However, there is a class action lawsuit in February of this year in California because over 1.6 million illegal database searches happened because multiple databases. There's San Francisco, they had 1.6 million searches there. The FBI accessed it, the ATF accessed it, ICE accessed it, CPB, DEA, the USPS, the Virginia police, and they had searches like Fresno DEA intel. And that apparently worked because they searched it. And it's because they had, in California, it's only allowed to be shared statewide. It is not allowed to be shared nationally. However, they had turned that off in, I think it was 2023? Yeah, in June of 2023. And somehow it got turned back on. Flock cannot tell them how it got turned back on. And yet nobody in that police department turned it back on. So how do we know that they're not gonna, somehow it's just not gonna magically turn on here and anyone anywhere can access that information if they have a flock camera? access. So, yes, there are good things that can happen with Flock. You can find missing persons, but there is so much more than just those few good things that happen. There's so many other things. Like, there's a man currently in Colorado who his car is on a warrant, and it's not him. Whether it's, somehow it got messed up, and every time he passes a Flock camera, he gets flagged, the police come and get him. And he can't get his name off of it. Like, how is that fair to him? I'm just frustrated. I should be able to go to the Mill Creek Mall and not have to worry about, am I gonna get dinged by a Flock camera even though I've not done anything wrong? Like, why would I wanna go shop there? Why would I wanna live in Mill Creek? I'm looking for a house right now. And honestly, I don't think I'd wanna live in Mill Creek Township if I have to worry about Flock cameras. Yes, currently you guys aren't paying for them, but how am I supposed to know whether that's gonna change? And who knows when there's gonna be more, because right now you don't seem to have a problem with them being in Mill Creek Township. And I guess I just would like you guys to really look into the situation more. Yes, the presentation was great, but of course it is. Flock's gonna tell you their stuff is great, please buy it. But have you looked into it on your own? Really looked into it, seen what everyone else is saying, seen the lists and lists and lists of people who have been stalked with these by police officers sometimes, but also hackers. Like, it's not that hard to get into it. I can't because I'm not a big computer whiz, but you don't need to know too much. I've seen videos of it being shown how easy it is. Yes, we all get that you guys aren't paying for it right now. Our taxes aren't paying for it right now, but it's still surveilling us. It's still violating our Fourth Amendment rights. We should be able to go around in peace and not have to worry about being watched.
Thank you for your.
Gerald's Video, 1720 West Square Road, Erie, PA. I want to apologize for Candy. Enough of this nefarious stuff. Back and forth, every meeting, some comment. You got thick backs, I'm sorry. I mean, I know I give you a hard time, but, I apologize, whether she does or doesn't. She prays for you, but she doesn't know how to apologize. My daughter's the EPD officer. Every day of our life, you use a phone, you use a computer, anything, you're being tracked. You talk about the mall, you're in and out. A license. If your kid was kidnapped, would you like the use of that? Yes or no? Yet you still come here, and then are you going to Cafaro? Are you going to the mall? But you come here, you want them to do your bidding? This reminds me of the cat people, and I went through it with them. I tell you, I was riled up when I heard about this, and I've been riled up ever since. I think people have Ring cameras. People get caught. Some people won't let police use Ring cameras, but I think they don't want to because they're part of the community. And I think all these problems would not happen if we had a better community, like some of these people have said. And if we had kids that would listen to us, I had great parents. I didn't listen to my parents all the time. Parents work hard. You hope you raise a good kid. I know this is a lot of talking, but I appreciate, as I said, EPD, state police. They may not always like me. You may not, you people, the way I talk. But we endanger ourselves every day with the computers, iPads. It doesn't matter, telephones. We're in trouble. But it isn't just going to be Flock. So put your big girl pants on and your big boy pants on, you know? And life is what it is. Grow up, raise your kids, and hope they turn out okay. And if you're going to be active now for this community, be active every two meetings a month. One on Tuesday mornings at 9:30, and the other one on the fourth Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Then you'll know what's going on in this community. So I thank you for your time. Okay. And I thank you for your thick skin.
Anybody else? Okay. I will call for an adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
So
We are adjourned at 20:15.